This video is about using a thermal monocular for boating at night. I'll go over my setup in detail, show some footage, and share my first impressions. So here's what my setup looks like. The big old helmet, bunch of stuff hanging off of it. Here's the thermal. It's an MH25 V2. On top of that is the Panobridge Mini-Rail arm, and that connects it to the Panobridge MK3. And that's connected to a MICH mount. It's a knockoff from eBay. And all of this is attached to an old bump helmet I was using for night vision before I got the thermal. On the back of the helmet is an Anker PowerCore 10,000 mAh battery, which should be good for about 18 hours. And underneath that is an EOG Counter Weight, because there's a lot of heavy stuff hanging off the front of your noggin and you want it to balance out. And underneath that is a multi-tool in an old pistol mag pouch, and that's just to add more weight. And who doesn't like having a multi-tool? It all comes in around 5.2 pounds. You can always hold the thermal in your hand if you just want to look around now and then. With the internal battery, the runtime is about 3 hours. So here's what the camera records. You can see the menu at the top. However, when it records upside down for some reason. If you're curious about what palette the camera's in, you can just look down in the corner here. This W stands for white hot. I'll come back to different color palettes in a little bit. One important note, thermals do not see through glass. It's like looking in a mirror. Humans have a field of view of about 200 degrees. This thing has a field of view of 17.5 degrees. This is kind of what my brain sees with both eyes open during the day. The rest of the footage is taken at night. This is the color palette called Color. This one's red hot, white hot, and here is black hot. I think it might be my favorite. So with all that in mind, here's me going through some sketchy stuff. Here's what it looks like in poor conditions. It does not do well with heavy rain. There are a couple times during the day where the temperatures sort of equalize, and it's a little bit harder to navigate, but it's definitely doable. So what do I think about this setup? It's bulky and heavy, and it's kind of like looking through a magic toilet paper roll that sees in the dark. It's awesome, but it's far from perfect. I'll walk around and play with a thermal over one eye and night vision over the other eye, but for steering the boat, I really like to have one eye uncovered. That way I can see the chart plotter and have some situational awareness. I do find myself getting closer to things on the side with the thermal because the monocular blocks half the field of view from my uncovered eye. Would I recommend this setup? Absolutely. I think it's awesome. I think this is as good as it gets for now, for those of us who steer from an open cockpit or bridge. I also don't have radar. I'll keep my mouth shut for the last few minutes and just roll some footage. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a good one.